Welcome on in, everybody. This is the Red Card Radio News episode where we try and give you the most concise, up-to-date news report in the global world of football. We'll talk about European football, we'll talk about transfers, and occasionally we will talk about Formula One and chess, because those are definitely football-related topics. But boys, let's get into it. The first thing we want to talk about tonight is, I think, the kind of the biggest story around world football over the last 3 or 4 months. And that, of course, is Barcelona and the kind of insane situation that they're in with their finances. So a little bit of backstory if you haven't been following along. So Barcelona are arguably one of the biggest footballing institutions in the world. Huge fan base all over the world for many years. You go from Rivaldo to Ronaldinho to Messi, to their current crop of players. This is a huge footballing institution. But at the end of last season, La Liga produced some figures for all the clubs, what their balance sheets essentially needed to show in order for them to kind of register new players and all that stuff for next season, for this current season that they're getting ready to start at the weekend. And going into this, the number that La Liga told Barcelona that they needed to spend was negative 144 million euros, or something in that ballpark. They needed to essentially come up with 150 million euros at a baseline in order to be able to function in La Liga this year coming in. And so
it was their wage bill.
Yeah.
The wage bill had to be reduced by 144 million.
Okay, that's right. So this is kind of the joke about Barcelona, as we've been talking about, because they have been slowly and steadily selling off their future rights to TV revenue, for money right now. They've been selling to a third party, and then that third party is giving them money. It seems like a loan. It feels like a loan. But Barcelona are certainly not saying it's a loan. They are claiming that it's an asset sold and it's just income. I think their president recently said that last month they made 650 million euros in a month, which apparently is a fantastical claim. Apparently there's a report going around in Spain saying that Barcelona didn't directly sell their TV rights to Sixth Street, which is the third party company. Apparently what happened was a third company was set up that was a joint investment between Barcelona and Sixth Street. And Sixth Street invested 517 million euros, while Barcelona invested 150 million euros. And the new company used that 667 million euros to buy the 25% stake of the La Liga rights for 25 years. So essentially, Barcelona used part of their own money to buy something that it's such a there's
accounting errors.
It certainly seems questionable at the baseline. But apparently, so last week Barcelona have been buying players left, right, and center. Brad, you know pretty well all the players they've signed, right? Because they've all been linked to Chelsea, right?
Yeah, then he put up Tuchel's wish list. I think they were gonna bring Tuchel on to be like the substitute manager, just to rotate.
Yeah.
Because it's all of the players he wanted.
Yeah. If it wasn't Chelsea's wish list, it was Chelsea players.
Yeah. So they signed Rafinha, who Chelsea were in for, Koundé, who Chelsea were in for, Lewandowski, who admittedly only wanted to go to Barcelona, but it seemed for a while there that Chelsea might have been interested in him. Apparently, that might have offered him more money, but he only wanted to go to Barcelona. They've also.
But he regrets that now, doesn't he?
Well,
we'll see by the end of the week. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll find out.
We'll see if he can be registered or not.
We'll see if they play match week 1. I'd be impressed if they're still a team.
And so apparently they're also about to sign Bernardo Silva from Manchester City.
80 million.
I don't know.
And Marcos Alonso for like 8 million.
And so they're spending this money left, right, and center.
They are fighting to win this transfer window. And they signed Kessie and Christensen, who still haven't been registered. They were frees, but they still haven't been signed yet.
I think the most amazing part of the story is what's been coming out in the last week or so about the contract situations. So the president of Barcelona and apparently Barcelona is convinced that the contract extensions that Frankie de Jong, Ter Stegen, Gerard Piqué, and Lenglet, who is now loaned away to Spurs, that they all signed in October of 2020 during the COVID restructuring, were all illegal. Essentially, Barcelona is trying to purport, and so this has been the big thing. This is why Barcelona has been trying to sell Frankie de Jong all summer, and Frankie de Jong honestly has no interest in going anywhere because apparently Barcelona owe him 17 million euros.
Yes. Do you know what his wages are each week?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's insane.
567,000 is what I saw.
Frankie, get your money, because
Get your money.
Barcelona's out here trying to tell him that his contract is illegal and that he needs to go back on the wages that he was on before, and that he needs to give money back to them. I hope that Frankie de Jong takes them to the wash and gets all the money that he is owed, legally owed, and goes nowhere. But apparently your boy...
And pay your taxes.
In reference to what you saw, I saw someone say that they... Now, this is the Twitter web. So someone said that they were in the arena of contractual legality. And basically said that if this is true, if Barcelona's claim is true, then all this does is completely void the contract, which makes them free agents.
Right.
It does not legally bind any of the parties to go back and do anything prior while under the impression that this contract was good. All it does is void the contract.
Right.
Period. That's it.
Yeah.
Now Frankie de Jong is a free agent.
I'll take Frankie on a free.
So if they push it, so if this legal Twitter analysis person is accurate, then Barcelona are barking up the wrong tree because they don't want that either.
Yeah, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get Frankie de Jong back on his original deal that he signed in 2019 when he signed for Barcelona, which was probably pittance compared to what he's making now. And
it's probably half.
If that. It's just absurd to me. And to have the audacity to go spend the type of money that they've spent on players this summer, the hundreds of millions of euros they've spent acquiring the rights for new players. And
then have the fans boo Braithwaite?
Oh, man.
For not taking a pay cut?
And not leaving
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Look, Red Card Radio, Braithwaite, we are with you.
Yeah.
Keep that contract, buddy. We are with you. Do not take a pay cut for them.
Literally everyone who is not a Barcelona supporter is flummoxed by the situation that's going on here. And so this club that claims to have so much class, it seems so classless. The way that they're treating De Jong and the way the fans are treating Braithwaite and what they've asked of these players. It's like it seems so wrong on so many levels.
I agree.
Yeah,
but apparently Barcelona have activated their fourth lever. So this is something that this has been the story is they've been activating different levers. They've been pulling levers, and then they just get money. They pull a lever, and then a big suitcase of cash shows up in Barcelona, and they get to open it up.
Like Scrooge
McDuck. Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Can we find these levers? Does Red Card Radio have any levers?
I could go ask the CFO, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna say no.
All right. Well, I mean,
my CFO's in a meeting.
My CFO's in bed.
How many CFOs does Red Card Radio have? I thought we only had one.
Apparently, it's a council of three.
I thought we had a CFO.
We do.
In
CFO.
No, I thought we had
the CFO.
Yeah, a chief information officer in Charlotte.
That's true.
And then I thought we had executive producer down
in
Richmond. I'm confused. We'll have to figure out. We're gonna have to figure this out.
We need a structure here, guys.
Yeah, we'll have to
make them pay all the taxes. Though.
Red Card Radio restructure is incoming.
We'll have to have a board meeting. Are our contracts illegal?
Well, I guess we'll find out next week if there's here's your mild inconvenience if you don't like, subscribe, rate, and review is if we don't show up for Red Card Radio next week, it will be mildly inconvenient to you. It will be heavily inconvenient to us, but you will know that the restructuring of our board members did not go well.
All of our computers and microphones got sold on Craigslist, so that's what's gonna happen.
Yes. So we'll see what the
If they
what
could,
the
they would.
we'll see what the doctor, the missus, and the saleswoman have to say.
We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, that kind of apparently Barcelona is very confident that by activating this fourth lever, they will be able to register their new players. But I still have questions about if they activate the fourth lever, sign Bernardo Silva, will they have to activate a fifth lever? Like that's what I'm confused about. How many levers? How many levers
I
are
want
there?
to know how many levers.
So the fourth lever isn't enough.
It's
La
not.
Liga told them you're about €13 million short, 13 million euros short here. Even with the fourth lever.
They have to sell somebody.
I am here for this chaos.
Yeah.
Todd,
Todd.
Bully, do not do this. Listen,
Yeah. Oh man.
I'm okay with De Jong coming to us.
On a free in 4 weeks when they can't do anything with them.
Give me, yeah. Just wait 1 year. Arsenal will dissolve. We'll pick up De Jong.
Yeah.
Pick up Pedri.
Tell you,
It'll be dope.
I know we're going long on this, and we got other shit to get to, but you know who is really just rolling in it and just laughing from across the country? Madrid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because all they did, they made, like Madrid made all their little micro purchases. They bought Vincennes when he was young. They bought Camavinga when he was young, and like they've made a couple splashes here and there, but they kept their finances in order. And they're just looking across the country like, what the hell is going on over there?
I mean, the thing
like
with-
they're not in a better financial position.
I mean, you think about Barcelona. A couple,
They're
like,
just
5 or 6
easier to
years ago,
balance.
6 or however many years ago, they sold Neymar for 220 million. Right?
Where'd that money go?
It went into Osama Dembele and Coutinho. They paid Liverpool 140 million pounds for Coutinho, and how many games did Coutinho play for Barcelona? It's less than 50. He actually scored in the Champions League for Bayern Munich against Barcelona when he was on loan at Bayern Munich. They have been so poorly managed over the last 10 years. The only reason they were relevant was because they had Messi. And you could see that after they lost Xavi and Iniesta, like things went south real quick for Barcelona. But
Also, how much they paid Messi?
oh yeah, that's another.
Like
It's
Messi was paid.
if I'm to believe Twitter, apparently they're lining up a reunion with Messi in 2023, but we'll see about that. If you're interested in La Liga, it kicks off this weekend on. If you're in America, it's on ESPN. I'm pretty sure.
Plus,
Yeah, ESPN Plus. Yeah, of course, because nobody, same thing with
everybody has a paywall.
same thing with NBC, bastards. Italian football is also back this weekend. I think Italian football is on Paramount Plus, and in America, of course. I think French and German football kicked off last weekend. So all the big five leagues in Europe by this weekend will all be kicking off, quickly playing as many games as they can before the winter break, and the World Cup starts in November. But that's kind of the big major news story that we wanted to cover this week. A couple other ones. We do have a comment that we want to get to. So Will was excited last week for our F1 update. He said, nice to get an installment of the Red Flag Radio.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Free merch.
I know I don't have much time. I have got to get to some drama that played out since this
Oh,
bull crap.
yeah.
There is some drama.
Yo, summer break drama.
I decided to do this F1 update because it was the summer break and it was a natural break. It's a good, it's mid-season. It's time to update. Let me tell you what happened here. So in this, Vettel has decided to retire. That's okay. He's old. He's got a bunch of championships. We've got Fernando Alonso that has decided to leave Alpine and take that Aston Villa seat that Sebastian Vettel was in. In that, longtime, very young character, Oscar Piastri, he was the Alpine reserve driver, which, if you guys don't know, there is always a third driver on hand just in case somebody needs to fill in any given weekend. So they are paid to just do that and not drive in any other races. He was on hand, ready to go for Alpine all weekend. They were going to fill the spot with him. That will not be happening because they Alpine tweeted out that, or Instagram or whatever press release they put out, that he will be filling the seat of Fernando Alonso, and he said, "I have not agreed to this. I will not drive for you next week." A couple days later, has signed for McLaren, which was awkward because Danny Ricciardo still had a McLaren seat. So then McLaren had to let Danny Ricciardo know that he will no longer be driving for McLaren in 2023. And he has since told them, "You still owe me money."
Get your money.
Not only that, which is good for him. Yes, get your money. You can't cancel the contract short without paying me the money that you owe me. I agree with him.
True.
I do also agree. It has been documented on this podcast. That man ain't scoring points. He needs to be off the team. I love Danny Ricciardo, but come on, man. Like, we have 95 points. He scored 19 of them.
I thought it was
19 out of.
I thought it was 17, but who cares?
It's 19. It's
2
19.
points.
Anyways, 19 out of 95. Anyways, so McLaren orange, by the way. So what has also happened is Alpine has just said, I think this was today, they said, not only, McLaren, are you on the hook for Danny Ricciardo, but we trained that man, Oscar Piastri, for the last 5 years. You're going to pay us for that training time.
They're not going to sue him.
They're
insane.
Suing Piastri by virtue of McLaren, of you're not taking, we trained that guy to drive well. You're going to pay us for the time that we spent training him.
It's I mean, like there are.
It is absolutely insanity.
There are solidarity
Isn't Piastri
payments.
like the number? Sorry, isn't Piastri like the number one driver in F2?
Oh, does he drive? Did they drive in F2?
I think he's dominating in F2.
I know they are all the teams have a third driver, and they are all available on Sunday.
Yeah, I think they can call them up at any time, probably. But
yeah.
So like you talk about like the suing Piastri and McLaren. I mean, like football clubs in the world of football, if you make a transfer, so like there are solidarity payments that are paid to the clubs that trained a player. So like when Lewandowski went from Bayern to Barcelona, all of the clubs that trained Lewandowski when he was a child, when he was a kid coming through academies, are going to get some portion of that money as a solidarity payment. So solidarity payments make sense and they exist for a reason. But trying to sue him for all of the money that they invested in a driver seems insane to me.
It is, but I'm here for it. It has been absolute pandemonium since my last update.
Yeah, it's been a wild week. 1 week. A wild 1 week. And Lewis Hamilton's just out here in Africa, just like exploring and just chilling.
It's in the Namibia desert. I saw like what the. I promise. Loyal listeners, I did not plan to update F1 2 weeks in a row. We didn't even plan this. This isn't even on the rundown.
It's not.
It's not. This is off the cuff.
I just remembered all the nut shit that was happening this week. Yeah. Anyways, all right.
Wait. One last thing. Can we get some Red Flag Radio merch?
We might.
I think there's an opportunity here that we need to capitalize on here.
We might need to.
Maybe one of these episodes will just be F1 if it keeps going like this.
Yeah, maybe the news episode turns into an F1
chaos.
podcast. Wow.
That's an F1 podcast right in the middle.
All right. There is a little bit of football transfer news that we want to talk about, specifically concerning our teams. Your guys' team. I guess I could talk about Arsenal a little bit, but apparently Lo Celso and Brian Gill on the move from Spurs, Sean?
Nothing concrete. Lo Celso's pretty much, he's got one foot out the door. It's either Villarreal or another Spanish team that not up here. Nombele is also going to be stepping out. I was glad he was given a chance, at least. We could have shipped him out in the summer before the training camp started, but we didn't. Gave him a chance. He's still not ready. According to Conte, I'll trust Conte. Says he's not ready to be in the squad. Got it.
In Conte, we trust.
Well, I mean, he wasn't ready for Mourinho. He wasn't ready for Nuno. If he wasn't ready for those two, and then he's not ready for Conte, I'm good.
Was Gill there with Mourinho? Does that seem like a Mourinho signing?
Paratici bought Gill, which is why that's going to be a loan.
Yeah.
Paratici was the director at the beginning of last season. Yeah,
Yeah,
at the
we know.
beginning of last season. Yep.
Yeah.
And Gil was a purchase from him.
Yeah.
So there seems to be potential there. They want to loan him, not sell him.
Interesting.
Okay. Brad, it's a sad day for Chelsea Football Club.
It is. But you know what?
He had a negative 80.
He came and he did what he said he was going to do. He said he was just coming to win the Champions League. Then he went home. Turbo Timo was back at Leipzig.
Leipzig. The return of the mighty Leipzig.
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 I remember when Tamzine clowned you on saying Leipzig the first time.
I know. It was amazing.
And Declan Rice. Declan. Yeah, so
Those pronunciations are back.
Timo Werner is returning to the Bundesliga. Back to
this seems like a move. I think there was a fallout with Tuchel.
Certainly.
The bigger reason I think is World Cup. He wants minutes for World Cup football.
Yeah, and I mean, to be completely honest, he's been trash for you guys for 2 years. So
yeah.
There's that.
Yeah, he hasn't scored goals. He came to score goals. He hasn't scored goals.
Yeah. But that's the major news that we want to talk about. That's all we got. So if you're still listening, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Pray that we will be back next week. That our contracts haven't been voided, and that we haven't been sold ourselves in order to make up for new arrivals. Or maybe there's going to be a new slate of hosts on Red Card Radio, and they'll be fantastically more handsome than we are. You never know. You'll have to tune in next week to find out. But definitely look back. Leave us a comment in the YouTube or hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whitehart_Sean. I am at James Tiffany. You can hit us up collectively at Redcard_Radio and tell us what you think. Hit us with your favorite footballing Formula One chess news story, and we'll talk about it next week maybe. We'll see. But until then, have a good evening. Good night.